All right, and a good Sunday afternoon or morning out there on the left coast or where you're listening right now downstream. But welcome to UCY.TV. I'm Vince Easley. I'm filling in, have the honor and privilege of filling in for Drew Lamb these last few weeks on Off-Grid Journey. And I'll be your pathfinder today. Going to take a look behind and beyond the Off-Grid Journey. And I just don't know if I could give a title with enough credence to what it is I want to talk about. But serendipitously, I guess Drew Shawley started off Cold Reality and kind of a new direction. And for me, I've been reading a lot of links lately, and so today I thought I'd just be able to sit here and actually just talk to you with very little reading for other places. Of course, I'm sandwiched in between a great slot right here. Hal Anthony behind the woodshed follows with our thanks from UCY to Real Liberty Media. I've been over in chat over this morning over there and at World Truth and Sharon here. I wouldn't know if they're poaching listeners, but they didn't have anything playing, so I've invited them over. That they're having trouble getting into Chitango like so many of us. Chitango crashed over the weekend and really knocked a lot of people out. It's hard to believe how many people have really been involved in that site, and it's you can link that, of course, to your own page or wherever. But we have a Chitango chat here on UCY, and if you're able to get in today, congratulations! I got in barely just a little while ago, so I did get in at UCY Radio on Chitango. Some people were having problems getting the page to load there, the chat to load on the show pages. But anyways, a big shout out again to Real Liberty Media and Hal Anthony. Behind the Woodshed follows up here in an hour. I listen every week. As a matter of fact, he replays here on UCY during the week. So I get a chance to listen 2 or 3 times to Mr. Anthony each week. Also on YouTube, by the way. But you know what? Every time I listen, even though it's a repeat, I've many points along the way, it's like I'm listening for the first time because he shares so much that it's just impossible to take it all in. Even listening every week has a lot of information. Will Roberts, the late Will Roberts, just preceded the prior 2 hours here, and he was speaking a lot on the very idea that Shawley and myself. That Shawley did talk about, and I myself will be talking about, hopefully, today. And that's really, let me see if I can put this into words. Look behind and beyond the off-grid journey. So, what is the attraction for this? First of all, why are people, more and more people headed in that direction? And where can we hope that this will take us? I personally, I believe that this idea, this movement coincides with the growth of alternative media. People are tired of status quo, what the world has to offer today, because most people are figuring out it's a bunch of BS, right? Well, we see how all the systems have been controlled. And today, I take this from Gringo in chat earlier. We're going to try to rip the Band-Aid off, okay? We can pull it back slowly, or it's going to hurt no matter what, okay? But now look, I'm going to try to dull my fangs back on this some today, okay? I don't want to offend anybody. Some of the subjects we talk about here, personally, in face to face, I get reaction from people from anger to blaming me. It's like there's no way that this could be true. It just can't be. Like, let's say, for instance, I went for coffee this morning, and the conversation was about healing tooth decay. You can't heal teeth. Enamel can't be replaced. Well, the evidence seems to say that it can. Now, what can we do, anyways, to change the system that we're in? Withdraw where we can. Stand up where we can. You don't have to just cut your lines and pitch a tent to make a difference. You got to start where you're at. First of all, this is a journey, right? Start where you're at and go from there. Where's that one at? Damn, I got so many links open here. But anyways, this might be it. No. But we'll start there. Why not? Why they took cocaine out of soda. That's interesting. I hadn't read it. But that comes from World Truth TV. A shout out to worldtruth.org also. If you're on Facebook, this is it's a great big social media site, and we've taken and tried to make it into something that they didn't intend it for it to be. Therefore, we're censored, and what we have to post is, a lot of times people don't see it. So I support a migration to World Truth. Keep your Facebook by all means, but let's build World Truth. There's Sue, TSU, and another one I just opened. I'd have to go look for that. But Sue right now is in a growth stage, and it's all about people making money. They're paying dividends. I think I've made 14 cents since I opened it, but I'm not playing the game. I don't have time to fill quotas. Okay, it's just not me to fill quotas. I'm gonna pop over here to chat and say hi to everybody. And hi, Jules. Thanks for all you do for sure. And just a few chatters here: Jackson and Cooper, and Captain Gringo, Dusty, and Non-37. And over to Real Liberty Media. Hey, Barman, Cowboy Tech. He's a friend of mine over on World Truth. Darth Romes is in there. Mr. Hal Anthony is in there. I think he's having a little pooter issues, and so trying to put that in. Now, Suzanne Postal, she's made it over to World Truth. She's been in Facebook jail, and that happens, when you're really sharing the truth. So let's try to make a migration, and let's go build this movement, okay? So a movement requires that you be moving, right? And that is a journey. So that's where we're at in life, right? And we're all on a journey. And shouldn't we be looking to figure things out? And like I said, I think we all know. Hey, thank you, Cowboy Tech. He's listening right now. All right. From Real Liberty Media and worldtruth.org. Cowboy Tech. So basically, we're kind of looking at what statism and anarchy, right? And both of these definitions are going to be very different to so many people, and I would bet most people would not even know what statism is, and their definition of anarchy would be setting fires and breaking windows and looting and all that. Where anarchy is a free association, non-aggressive, rules without rulers, right? So, whereas statism, there's no choice there. That you have to. If you do not comply, you will die. Okay, they'll threaten you. They'll kidnap you. They'll hold you for ransom if you don't want to play the game. So, where we got to, I guess, in a sense, play that game, and also like how Anthony says repeatedly, look to challenge that authority, because with so many of the way the system is set up, we're just cogs in the wheel, right? And we can't hardly get out. A new show tonight. Liam Chef is going to be coming on tonight, and I will be giving him a shout out. Thank you, Jules. Awesome. His first show today on UCY.tv later tonight. And that follows Dr. Simon, and Dr. Simon follows by Truth or Talk. April was my guest yesterday on Cancer Kickers. She's fantastic. Her university, I listen to them every week as well. This is where I get my radio here, and a few others that we simulcast here on UCY. An incredible place to be. So, let me just maybe touch a little bit here on some of my notes. Okay. Oh, this morning, Shelley was talking about the price of truth. Now, for me, okay, I assume no responsibility to try to prove anything to you whatsoever. I don't think I have that obligation. I think everybody has an obligation to themselves to sort through this. And, even if you want to call them, oh, no way, there's just no way. How can you just say that without even taking a look? And if you're using the accepted sources without any challenging opposition, then then I don't think you're giving it a fair shake. Of course, we all see things according to our own perspective, and I like to use the analogy of if we're standing around a building and everybody looking at that would give a description completely different depending on where they're standing in their perspective. And then once you went inside and you saw floor plans, tracing out the lines, following out the wires, right? Let's see what makes us tick. So that is an examination of the day. What makes us tick? This beast, the machine. So this mechanical beast. Where can we get out of this at, right? Now, I want to try something again here that I did with April yesterday. Hi, speaking of April, there she is. Hi, April. Good to see you. So I'm going to try this again. Oops, that one's not up. Okay. And I said yesterday, I felt like a monkey pulling wires. Maybe I can get set up here before I do anything. I'm going to plug this in since I am such a troglodyte that I was telling Mr. Anthony earlier, I am a troglodyte for certain on technology. But anyways, Truth or Talk coming up here in just like a few short hours, and this is in their honor, and Liam Sheff, who is also coming up for his first show on UCY. So here we go. Let's see here.
Everything I'm looking at seems crazy. The newspaper, the television, nothing's right. Nothing's telling me what's true. It's like I fell into a bucket of cream and kicked my legs until I became a mouse. What's that about? I'm a conspiracy realist, not a conspiracy theorist. I want a t-shirt that represents me. What? There's one that's available? Go to shop.truthertease.com, says the voice in my head. Shop.truthertease.com. It's not crazy. I'm not afraid to go on the internet and go to shop.truthertease.com. I'm not scared. I've taken out bowling balls that look like you. That's what I said. Straighten out. Get your conspiracy realist t-shirt. Don't make me come over there. You look good. You look good.
All right. How was that? I think I did it that time. Hopefully it come across good. Welcome, Moose Girl. Freaker's Balls. She's over visiting at the UCY from Real Liberty Media. Glad to see you. And I was listening to you just the other night, late. Yeah, lots of great folks over there. And we do so much appreciate Real Liberty Media here at UCY for their contribution. Okay. So I did get me something to drink and lit a cigarette, which, man, what a terrible slave to be to that, right? We're talking about freedom and liberties, and what is the definition of freedom and liberty? When we all, I got to think all of us somehow or another freely give our consent. You're welcome, Miss Girl. Really, really glad to. Yeah, I just had a birthday too. I think that was Saturday. Was her birthday. So happy B-Day, not birthday, born day. Which Walter Hendricks, Solveneur event on Saturdays. He's been taking some time off this month, but he is a great help in a definition of language, and that is very important to understand because the words that we use. Words that are used against us are trapping. So a birthday, just that simple right there, birthday and being born. Birth is a ship. It basically what it is, your birth certificate is giving you as collateral on all your future earnings, okay? So it is a very complex system that we live in today, and most people assume that that's just the way things are, that's the way it should be, and government has our best interest at heart. I kind of doubt it, right? So, William Roberts in the last previous, hour or two back, I hope I got this right. He said, who, I can't even say it, who woos and when. And I think that's what he said. And what's the woos? The woos are that, that draw, that cheese at the end of the maze, right? That everybody's after. And the American dream, right? Of course, many people will say, well, the American dream is because you're asleep, But we certainly have our ideas in society, and most people that have made a success in life are they're a little harder to back up. Let's take doctors, for instance. I have a sister that's a doctor, and she's a lot smarter than most people in this world. She went to a lot of training. I'm not knocking her or any other doctor because, like I said, they're smart, they're dedicated, they put a lot of hours in. But the training they receive is basically pharmaceuticals, right? Topics we've covered here on cancer kickers, especially nutrition, and disease, and how all this works. So one of the subjects then that incorporate this system is, well, if I've got a note here, I think I passed it, is the medical industry, the pharmaceuticals. I couldn't find it. So I just basically took some short notes just for jogging my memory. I hope to live up to expectation of my anonymous listener that these last few weeks has told me I've been doing a better job each week. Now, believe it or not, I've been doing this for not quite 2 years yet. I did have my own show here with UCY called What Matters Worldwide. I did for a year and a half. In August, I decided to put that on the shelf for a while. I do hope to come back. I've been a standing host and helped produce here at UCY, and it is a proud honor that I am able to do so and be a part of this, because it's a great movement we're all involved in each of us in our own sort of way. So anyways, I was talking about the medical industry. We all know, and if you don't, you should, please examine it for yourself, how the powers of the day co-opted a movement into the direction where we are. Basically, we're a little more than cattle. We're farmed, and money's made up on us, on our life and our death and our dyings, made on our dying, and that's the cancer industry. What a terrible thing to have would be cancer. And those people that have battled cancer, those are the heroes. Those are the bravest people there are. We're coming up on 1:20 Central Time, which 2:20 East Coast, which would put 4:20 somewhere over the Atlantic Ocean. Coming up, the 4:20 report from the Buzz Beaver. Boom, there it is. 4:20 somewhere, always. A reminder that hemp and cannabis can save the world. Or hemp. Cannabis, hemp is cannabis, right? There's a movement to quit using the word marijuana. It was, it was coined as a derogatory slang for the Mexicanos. Speaking of which, Miguel del Norte may be calling in, and if you would like to call in, your calls are welcome at 718-717-8296. I'd like to get a call from you and hear you weigh in here on this examination towards a better world, an examination of the world that we live in now. Dang, Moose Girl. Yeah, there's a lot of people dying from cancer, more and more people, and it is because of the industry. Our food supply is completely tainted. The standard American diet, known as SAD, is it's just nothing but poison. It takes a lot, it takes effort. Welcome, Miss Patriot. It takes a lot of effort to do things right, to live right, to you don't get a good physique from sitting on a couch. I mean, working out, exercise takes work. Absolutely. And here, I bow in slavitude to a cigarette. Okay? Makes no sense, doesn't it? But I guess excuses abound for myself and everyone else, right? Let me. I'm going to add. Hey, Rod. I think this is Miguel. and I'll have to plug in my headset here. Luckily, I'm ready. Welcome. Is that Miguel del Norte?
Hello.
Hello. Welcome, caller. Who do we got?
This is Moose Girl.
All right, Moose Girl. Well,
hey, what's up?
Happy birthday.
Oh, thanks. It was yesterday. It was good.
Yeah, or I mean, happy born day.
Yeah, exactly. Anniversary of my birth, right?
Yes, you're born.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the cancer thing. You know, they want us to give them all this money for research, and people fall for that. You know, they donate money for cancer research, and they haven't changed the way that they treat or handle it, you know, in 50 years or whatever, over 50 years.
Right.
And, you know, chemo and radiation, it might work for some people in some different kinds of cancer, but they purposely keep THC oil out of the equation. And I know that's not the only thing that can help cure cancer or whatever, but there's other things out there that people can do that they don't want us to know about. They don't want us to do because they want to keep making money off of us, you know.
That's it. It's all set up in the industry to, you know, to further that. It's a terrible cycle. It's a cycle of death, and
right.
Yeah, that's the way the world works. So, what can we do to change that? Well, you was mentioning cannabis, the cannabinoids in there not only cure, and I'm not going to use that word cure. They correct cancer.
Right.
Cure is a word I think we ought to throw out the door. You know, like trees, for instance, they don't heal. They compartmentalize, where the human body actually heals itself. And the only thing that can correct cancer or any other disease is the immune system, and you have to optimize your immune system for that.
Right.
And I think that comes basically from your diet, from good water, and from exercise.
Right. I mean, the way that, you know, if you think about most people's lifestyle, too, like, my job is very unhealthy for me because I sit at a desk for 8 hours a day in front of a computer. And that's, you know, what most people do.
I do that for fun.
Yeah, well, me too, but I do that at my job as well, and it's just a very unhealthy, sedentary lifestyle that's not good for people. I mean, I noticed at work a couple of people asked to have desks where they could stand instead of sit, and they actually gave them a stand-up desk. There's even desks you can get that, you know, you're standing up and you're on a treadmill while you're working. You know,
we are working on a treadmill. I think we're like a rat chasing our tail on a treadmill.
Well, yeah,
turning the cogs in the machine. So yeah.
So what I'm saying is, you're able to move around and have a little bit of exercise and keep your body active more than if you're just sitting at a desk.
Yeah, I'm poking a little fun, of course, but hey, throw a turd in the cogs when you can, right?
Right. And then what you were saying about hemp and cannabis, you know, saving the world, I believe that. I agree with that, because hemp there's just so many uses for it. And we all know the reason why they don't want us growing it. They don't want us to be self-sufficient using that. They want to have the control that they've had for so long. They're not going to give it up easily.
I did an episode here on UCY a year or so ago, and also blogged it, that hemp and cannabis can save the world, and go through all the uses, medically and, you know, for industry. The fibers, the oils, you know, from the seeds, there's a million uses I've heard.
Yes, there is. And they purposely, I mean, it's okay for the government to tell people to grow it in 40s for the war effort, because it makes the best rope, makes the strongest rope. But when people want to do it, like they were trying to do it over in South Dakota on the Indian reservation to kind of, become more self-sufficient, because I'm sorry, Indian reservations, they're like third world countries.
Right.
And they should be allowed to be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And the feds shouldn't be allowed to come in there and just, take that stuff from them.
I did read yesterday a post that said basically the feds aren't going after basically somebody growing pot on the res anymore, but they are still their procedures will be to continue to make sure it doesn't go in the hands of the youth and a few other things. It's just a little sidestepping, I guess. 2-year anniversary last week of recreational hemp or cannabis in Colorado. We see a movement, but see now this legalization, this I see as a problem, because we are giving our consent, our manufactured consent. I want to pop through these in case, even if we don't cover it. These are some of the topics that I intended to talk about. The 1913 Federal Reserve Act, and its ties to global banking, the medical establishment we've talked about and are kind of talking about now, politics, oh boy, the police state, and what I was just talking about, their manufacturing consent. So a lot of that's a partial list, of course, but there is a lot to talk about on where we are in life. The monetary system, that's who was it? A lot of people have gone to prison for printing private money. You can't compete with the Federal Reserve, which there is no reserve, and it's not federal, by the way. It is it's a private corporation owned by bank conglomerates, and of course that ties into the world money system. I forgot the name of it. Just took my brain for it. Anyways, the global banking cartel.
Well, it's all interconnected.
Absolutely, yeah. The IMF is what I would think I was looking at. Politics aren't even worth discussing. Anybody that thinks voting for the lesser of the two evils is doing any kind of good, then you're contributing to evil. And I think that's the idea we're discussing here, is withdrawing from the evil beast that controls the world.
Right.
Yeah, if you resist, you will be killed. If you grow a flower in your front yard, and I'm not talking about the marijuana kind. Just let's say there's an unapproved plant. Let's take the oleander in perhaps a metropolitan city out west. They say is poisonous, so they don't want anybody planting it because some people might be, get some symptoms from the pollen, or a kid might eat it. But anyways, they come along, the city council hands you a little ticket saying you need to remove that plant. If you don't, they will come back a few times. They'll warn you. They'll threaten you. They'll assess more penalties against you. But eventually, they will kill you. That's just the sad truth of the matter.
Right.
The state will kill you for noncompliance.
Yep. Happens every day.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to get too controversial with this Ferguson and all that, the who's and whys, but it's another example of what is rampant. And I'm not saying all cops are bad, and other people will call me out on that and say, well, if they're not bad, then they should be doing something about the bad cops. But let's not, let me keep my fangs dulled here on this. But there is definitely police brutality problem here, not only here, but around the world. Laws being passed more and more that you cannot film cops. You can't, even around the world. I think Spain just passed one. You can't film it. Lots of them here. There was a state here just a week or so ago that passed whatever, not a law, an ordinance, a code, or whatever it is. But we have the right to life. We have the life to live and be unmolested in life. So it's getting to be harder and harder. And if more people are starting to become aware and start fighting, it's going to become too late. We have this point in time right now in history. We have a chance of actually making a difference and tipping this world right side up with this movement that we're in. Unfortunately, there is so much diversion put upon us for to cause us to go back and forth against one another. Alex Jones, hey, he's done a lot of great work. I can't speak to the man's heart, right? But I do know that a lot of people have become aware. Now, see, some people get paid that, I even mentioned Alex Jones, and I did that on purpose. Personally, I don't give him a lot of my time, very little in fact, but, everybody has a role to play. And instead of trying to take somebody apart, let's take the positive from that person that we can, and let's move that on. But we can have strength in our diversity. We don't have to stand in our own camp. Let's link out across and connect.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that holds people back is just the belief in authority. That's what it comes down to. Well, it's been force-fed on us that we're supposed to have this, belief in this authority, and it's like, I don't want to, I don't like them. I'm not going to buy into what they're telling me to do. I mean, everyone's got to get over that belief in authority. Basically, that's what it comes down to. Exactly.
I had the honor of this last summer being in Vegas and meeting Larkin Rose. Nice. Yeah, I videoed the 2-hour event. Then we went and partied after the event. I myself drank a whole bucket of, probably even closer to a barrel of some English beer at a little pub there off the strip in Vegas. But man, what an incredible guy. He's, of course, he did about a year in prison for what they want to call not paying your extortion, I think is the proper definition. Right. Yeah. Great guy, great work. Then he went up to Denver where Nathan Fraser from Live Free FM here tonight, matter of fact, at 11 p.m. on the East Coast. We're simulcasting Nathan Fraser and Live Free FM right here on UCY.TV. So, lots of great programs. Cool. Stay tuned.
Well, I just wanted to call and put my 2 words in. I will let you go and let you continue your show.
Hey, thanks for the help. I really
nice
appreciate
talking
it.
to you.
Yeah, nice listening to you for your born day party on
thank you.
Freakers Ball the other night. Yeah, Friday night late. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I appreciate it, Moose Girl. That's Moose Girl from Rural Liberty Media. She does. She was doing it here too. I'm not sure why we dropped off late Friday night. So there's some programming change. But anyways, Rural Liberty Media. Our shout out to them. Great folks over there, and really appreciate their work here also.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Miss Girl.
Thanks. All right, you take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. And whoops. We'll click excellent. Skype, thank you very much. And finish. Thanks, Miss Girl. And Jax is still pissed at me, and probably because I got a kiss under the mistletoe. From a fellow co-host here on UCY, Doty. Yeah, we met out in Bunkerville. What a great year last year. Great travels. I was able to meet so many wonderful people. I went to Arizona. I went to Vegas. I went up to Bunkerville. Spent several weeks there. That was, people are saying this and that about it, but I'm going to tell you what. That was the first time in history that we were ever, maybe not the first time, but one of very rare instances that the people were come together and put themselves in front, in between. Let's go in between an unjust cause perpetrated by members of federal government. People were armed there. I was armed with my voice, my feet, and my phone. Nonetheless, when I walked up that line of cops, I was shitting like a dog shit. Shaking, I'm sorry, I'm going to curse here, but I was shaking like a dog shit in taxi, and I'm not kidding you. People weren't there to pull the trigger. People were there willingly to say, okay, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna have to shoot us to do it. Oh, dang, Jax. Doubly pissed. What's the reason? We were both in love with Dodie. I think she ought to marry both of us, Coop. I mean, Jax. Oh, Cooper, for Russian hookers. This show is quickly going in a wrong left direction. I think U-turning. Oh my goodness! Now I'm completely derailed. So you're going to have to elaborate on that further, Jax. And a reminder, if you are listening downstream at YouTube, come on back over here to UCY.tv. More awesome programs. Let me see if I can pull it off the top of my head. Next is Hal Anthony behind the Woodshed. Again, shout out to Real Liberty Media. Followed by Truth or Talk, April and Verstein. And, Leslie, I know her name, Leslie, is going to be guest. Actually, sorry, bad. I think I don't think that's going to be live. I think they're recording today. Anyways, that's holyhormones.com. Check that out. So, okay, following Truth or Talk then would be Dr. Simon, Character Matters, followed by a brand new show with the Liam Chef Show. Follows that would be All Power to the Positive, and then we wrap up with Live Free FM. And we'll take another look at that before we finish up for today. So, a quick pause. I was trying to find this other one. A friend over at worldtruth.org did me a little bumper, and man, I'm so disorganized. I've got it in a file and cannot find it. I wanted to play it too, but alas. So, well. Okay, here's a further shout out. This came from chat earlier. Further 420 report. This is ec.canncast.com, flowers, that's eccancast.com, flowers, and that was a 2014 Emerald Cup flower entries. Beautiful buds, check them out. And who dropped that? I think that was Mike, Mr. Miguel. Doggone it. Anyways, I'll drop that off over here into chat, and I'll also drop that into Real Liberty Media there as well, in case y'all would like to look at some pretty flowers. There's Moose Girl. Thanks, Moose Girl. That was a great call. Enjoyed talking to you. Let me refire this stove. Alas, I have no what I like to call medicine today. So, hello, barman. Then also, I posted this to the Buzz Beaver Facebook page that I have, and I used an image from skunkmagazine.com. The skunk is a friend of the Buzz Beaver. Believe that. Emerald Cup, yes, Dusty. There you go, Skunk Magazine. Listen here, hold on, Coop. Let me grab you this link, reallibertymedia.com, and I will pop that over there. And they've got a list to the left. Select a channel to start. Man, there is a bunch of folks over there talking, and UCY is also in that list. And here you go, Mr. Cooper. My favorite Nazi. Look in there, Coop, and you will find Moose Girls. Freakers Ball on Friday nights. Let me hit this button just 1 second. And turn your head and cough. Let's take a physical here. Where are we at? I've got my list that was a short list. Wait, you know what? I got some notes on this side, don't I? But it appears I may have went through most of them, but not quite. What is property and what is freedom? And I did talk about that rat on a wheel chasing its tail with Moose Girl. And moving past the modern accepted norm. That's kind of what we're talking about here when we're talking about moving beyond, the look behind and a look beyond the off-grid movement. Because why are people, after all, what's the draw? Well, why are people moving off-grid? I think I might have started out talking about this. It's because things ain't right, and people know it. TV show from the 60s, My Favorite Nancy. Thanks, Jax. With the star Dan B. Cooper, before he jumped out of an airplane. We know what he did with those millions. He paid off the debt for the show. With Bill Bixby, and Dusty says. So, hey, thank you, Cowboy Tech. He's posted over here. I'm the live warm-up, indeed, for Hal here on Off-Grid Journey. And that comes from Keat, Keat. How do you pronounce that? And Cowboy Tech also. And Keat is also glad for not having hooter issues. Thanks. Their ears are plugged. And we got me, my two doggies joined over at Real Liberty. So you can also join the chat there and right here on UCY.tv. Sure proud to have y'all all along and listening, little doggies. So we are traveling, ain't we? On a journey. Well, as being one here speaking in public, non-anonymously, I think I certainly have some responsibility for some type of credibility, right? Although I did say that I don't think I have any responsibility to prove anything. It's not my place to prove anything. Matter of fact, your own thinking is influenced by your perspective. So broaden your perspectives is my advice. I'm certainly not the same person I was 20 years ago or even 2 years ago. I'm evolving. Our minds, our thinkings evolved unless you get stuck in that some type of paradigm, some dogma that's been pre-described for ages. Back to in honor of the 420 report from the Bus Beaver. I found a roach. I'm fired up. So this is my protest right here. I'm doing something that I think a person ought to be able to do. I could be drinking whiskey, and I think I'd get pretty stupid after a while. I ain't never seen anybody get stupid smoking a weed. I eat weeds, by the way. That was where was that we had that conversation? That was on Larry. Larry made a post, and he had a post of Purslane. Oh, I have that open somewhere. Where's it at? Doggone it. Wait a minute. Where are you at? Did I close it? I had a link open for Eat the Weeds. Oh, that's right. I know what I did. I had to shut down because I was trying to refresh, and I finally did get Chitango open. Wait a minute. Let me go ahead and just talking and typing. And I was going to say eating and typing. Eat the Weeds. This was pretty good. Now, what brought me there was a post from Larry. He was a good guest with Mr. Chuck O'Celli. Great guy. Incredible amount of information. So anyways, that led me here to a fellow from, I think he was from Scotland. I said, you can find these plants out in the yard. And he said, I'm in the UK, and a yard is a measurement. Well, we use a yardstick over here, but when I was younger, it was used in a completely other manner than measurement. It was, well, you might consider that measurement when you got took out behind the woodshed. Shout out, Mr. Al Anthony. Yeah, he's going to open up a can of whoop ass here in about 14 minutes behind the woodshed. I thought this was pretty cool. So we're going to kind of step out into the lawn, onto the lawn, out the yard, into the woods on this off-grid journey. Here's some cool stuff. Hollies, caffeine, and antioxidants. There's a lot of different holly bushes here. in the Americas and elsewhere in the world. Oh, uh-oh. Holly tea with vitamins A and C. This time of year in the South, late fall, early winter, some of the hollies are so scarlet with berries that even the tourists can spot them while doing 85 on Interstate 95, if they bother to look. But anyways, so let me see if I can just highlight something out of here. The often preferred holly for decaffeinated tea is gallberry. The Yaupon holly, which has the highest caffeine content of any plant in North America, is called Itorium. Yelp, it means what you think it means, vomiting oak. All right, there was something on here I read earlier that the oak is, I don't know if I can find that, the actual how the names are used. Anyways, it's not an oak. I think it's on down. No, here it is. The often preferred, the Elix galbra, which means smooth oak. Why oak? Well, it's a bit of a linguistic fudging. There is a European oak that resembles a holly, and it was called, in dead Latin, Elix, or the holly oak. So when hollies were being named, their names were like the holly oak, so ibex became their genus name, even though hollies are not oaks. It's just one of those things one can expect from a dead language only academics use, where the older Greek still speaking is doing well and is not misnaming plants. It's also called the inkberry, by the way, and it has a non-edible blackberry. I tried eating my iPhone. I think blackberries have a much better flavor. Not so bitter. Laugh at me if you can't laugh with me, okay? Oh, nice sight. Here, I'll tell you what. Why don't I just grab that and drop it off for y'all? I'm listening live. And that is from Eat the Weeds. And also sharing to Real Liberty Media. And, yeah, we're coming up, Barman. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes on my clock. Eat the Weeds from Barman. Yeah, title by Green Dean, the most watched forager in the wood, and he is. Yeah, I enjoy his YouTube channel as well. Really great. Yeah, you can follow that site back there and find his YouTube also. So again, hey, a big shout out to everybody over listening live right now at Real Liberty Media and in the chat room there and at UCY.TV and our chat. I'm so proud Tango's back. Oh, I felt so alone. All alone, lost. And here I am, the Pathfinder for the day. I really enjoy the interaction here in chat. And I always open Real Liberty Media on the weekends because, of course, Hal Anthony's coming up. 10 minutes, you guys. Stick around where you're listening. And if you're listening downstream, be sure to come back and find Mr. Anthony. What a great guy. Like I said, I learn a lot from him. I get a lot of head scratching for myself because, man, what he has to say is like, you got to listen again. What does that mean? And he's not the guy that's going to feed it to you on a silver platter. He's saying, hey, you got to take responsibility and go find this for yourself. Look it up. Yeah, look it up, right? The dark berry, the sweeter the juice. Yeah, I like dark juice, dark berries. Mr. Jacks, even though he hates me. He doesn't really. Who was that? Was that you sent me a text yesterday? Jax? Yeah, a lot of us here are our friends that are live. And you're welcome to be my friend. I'd like to be your friend. If we're not friends, let's be friends. All right? Can I do this at one time? I've part of my preparations, beyond some of the food, stuff like that, and survival gear that I have. When I run out of the tailor-made cigarettes, I do have some tobacco, and I've not gone to replenish the ready roll one. So I'm going to roll one here in honor of Walter Hendricks. Again, a shout out. Saturdays, The second show starts Saturday mornings after Jeff Wefferson on the brink, and he replays first thing in the morning here Sundays as well, followed by the Flying Rainbow Lasagna. Great show. It gives you some thinking, it causes you to think, I guess, maybe against your dogma or your paradigm. Look, we can all assume to know, but we really can't know some things, right? What does Coop say? Who's Barney? I love you. I guess that must be it. You love me. Cooper's a friend. And I can't sing. Fire, fire. I am the master fireman. But you know what? Let's talk a little bit about that. We're just going to kind of go informal from here on out, right? So, I'm a firm believer in not fixing it if it's not broken. And maybe you might call that Ozark engineering, but I cobble some things. And anyways, I had a stovepipe out there that I didn't do a good job of fabricating in my upright due to some beating and some winds and this and that came off. Man, I had back. Oh my word. I wasn't getting a good draw, and I built a little fire this morning, and I about choked myself out. Very important. But the problem, even with it just sticking out, it still would have drawn, except for it had some change in wind. Normally it didn't come out of the south and east, but that's the way the wind was going right back into the hole. Yes, Mr. Cooper, Walter is on, as they say, in Europe on holiday, I will assume, or he may have had some technical issues, but we do love Walter. One of my favorite, I got so many here, but all I guarantee you, my top 10 you can find right here for certain on UCY.tv. Anyways, I do pride myself in my being able to ignite a flame from a spark. Very important for the off-grid journey when you're stuck in the woods. Yeah, my electric bill was $27 and pennies last month. Yeah, fight the system. Other people are spending $300. Oh my word, they're electric. $300 to heat, run electric. I don't know how anybody lives in the country that burn wood. There's, of course, part of the environmental problem. There's a lot of tree die-offs around the country, and we're experiencing our own here for whatever reason, be it nefarious or not. But the red oaks have been the major under attack, in some pine trees, but boars are bad. You up there, I've got several listeners up there in the northwest listening right now. I know the codling moth has been a problem for a long, long time, and DDT was applied, and no telling what else. So, I hear a car coming down the road. I'm out here in the country. It may be my friend going to go to the store, and pretty perfect timing to come in right before we go off the air. I'm just looking out the window. No, that wasn't him. Can you hear him? Okay, like I said, informal. We've got 5 minutes left. I've by no means covered the topics but in any intensity whatsoever. Very, very little. But hopefully, I had fun, so hopefully everybody else did. And I doubt anybody learned anything. Learning's such a hard thing to do, isn't it? I don't know. I think I've been hit in the head way too many times. Oh my. Coop says he thinks the Stasi has Walter tied to a chair in Spandau prison. And Jack says a chant calling for Saul to come back. Welcome, Joe Friday, the ninja. And I am your Papa, the propaganda panda. And I've been really, really proud to be along here, along for the ride, along the journey. I have set myself as Pathfinder for you today. You're going to get a little feedback here in just a minute until I turn this player down. And I do want to give a shout out to, there it is, and I got you down, to the rest of the day. And I did give it all right, except for I left out Webster Tarpley in between Liam and All Power to the Positive. So, coming up right here where you're listening right now, or come on back if you're downstream, is Behind the Woodshed with Hal Anthony, followed by Truther Talk with April and Verstein. Character Matters with Dr. George Simon follows. That's a really, really good show. Understanding the human psyche. Mostly he's talking about people with faulted character, psychopaths, sociopaths. Okay, so after that is brand new today. All right, Liam Sheff. Awesome. He is a great guy. He was he guested with me one day. Has a fantastic amount of information. Covers a lot of stuff. 9/11, done a lot on that. Then we have Mr. Webster Tarpley, a friend of UCY.TV with World Crisis Radio, followed by All Power to the Positive with Sensei Lewis and Jacob Brown. Hey, put your headphones on and crank it up for the politically erect. And one of my very top favorites, Nathan Frazier with Live Free FM. What a great guy. Very humble, too, but like Mr. Anthony, very, very well able to convey information that the retarded minds such as myself are easily, I'm able to easily absorb, I guess I might say, or more readily easily. Hey, that's my last name, Easley. And I am easily amused. As you might notice. Okay. Oh, I forgot to do my Christopher Walken. I'm not going to set myself up for a failure here at the end. So I will not do my Christopher Walken impersonation, which I'm tone deaf. So I can't tell that I'm not really doing it very well. But I can almost see the that's it. Love and peace, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more Big Road. Bye-bye. Love and peace.